receiver. McCarthy wanted every receiver to know every position. Is Matt doing the same kind of thing? Are you getting everybody looks at every possible place they can line up, even at this point? Or
yeah, I think they are. I think they're doing a good job of not being stuck in one position. You know, Coach Witt has done a nice job of teaching conceptually more than he is just saying you're an X, F or Z or anything like that. So yeah, they definitely are.
So what's this been like for you? I'm guessing you didn't have any background or not much of a background in this scheme. So what's it been like for you learning it all, so once you get with your guys, you can be the expert that they need you to be?
Yeah, it's been great. You know, Matt, he really took his time with us once we got here at the end of January. And we took our time, and he was very detailed with us as we went through the process. He had us all in that offensive staff room, and we were able to do a really good job of watching a lot of tape, giving great examples, and so we could all feel really good about what's going on. Like you said, the terminology I really didn't have any background in, but what we're doing, I feel like I have a pretty good background in. So, once I was able to, get that picture, what does this word mean? It all became much clearer for us, and we were able to deliver the message to these guys, and that's what we're still doing. We're in the middle of all that still.
So when you're sitting in your quarterback room, and Matt's in there, and Nate's in there, and quarterbacks are in there, specifically with Aaron and Matt, what are you seeing in terms of the development of their relationship and how that's progressed over the last few weeks, months?
Great conversation. That's what that room has been since we've all gotten together here. I mean, there has been conversation going on, and it is a dialect amongst everybody, and everyone kind of given how they view things, and Matt leads the show, and that he kind of gets the conversation rolling, and then we all kind of give our viewpoints of stuff and how we see it, and we see how Aaron and those other guys are seeing it, and then we go from there. But it's been a lot of dialect. It's been really good. It's not just been a quiet room or someone standing in the front pointing the laser at the screen. It has been really interactive, and I think that's helped the process a lot. Just kind of. I mean, sometimes when something's new, and it happened with me as I was learning, if I didn't ask questions, I wouldn't, I may paint the picture the wrong way. So we've been able to do that, since these guys got back here in April.
When there's, and it doesn't matter what position you're in, what job you're in, when you have the same boss or the same system for 13 years, I would imagine that the transition is difficult. What has Matt done to help Aaron through that? Because it's been one offense for 13 years.
Sure, I think it's that availability and that conversation, where he's been a part of it all. Matt's been in there with the whole unit. Matt's been in there with us in the quarterback room. I mean, I think that availability to spend some extra time with just Aaron even, I think all of that has been really good and really beneficial for us. Again, because like you said, when sometimes a word means something to you, you kind of have to unwire yourself to then rewire yourself, and that's you can see us going through that process right now, and it's just getting better and better every single day.
What's been the process like for you? I mean, we've seen Matt be pretty hands-on with the QBs on the field, and him and Nathaniel are both in your room a lot. So finding your role within all that, and what do you see as your role within all that?
Well, I think it's just like any assistant. I mean, the role is to deliver Matt's message, and Matt's the voice of the entire offense. And so it's my job to make sure we're holding all those guys in that room accountable, and then being there for them to, watch them, help them through the process. It's to evaluate them. It's to, see when they have an issue to help them correct it and find different ways of training them and teaching them. And so we're applying all that stuff, and it's definitely going to take a team to do it, and it's not just me. It's everybody doing their part in those areas. It's not just me helping the quarterbacks, in my opinion. It's me helping the tight ends, the receivers, whoever else needs it, the backs. It's all of us working together, and I think that's what's been really cool. Because like when we got here in January, it wasn't just me and Matt. It was the entire offensive staff sitting in there going through the entire offense and learning the whole thing. So I think we've all been there to lean on each other.
Aaron mentioned that there's quizzes in the QB room to make sure everybody knows what's going on and things like that. Can you give an example of what are the types of things you might quiz those guys on, or what they consist of?
I mean, everything. Yeah, I mean that's been a great. We've been using some different technology and stuff. Different apps, and We had a guy come in like he was an educator, and I got my family background. They're all teachers and stuff, so we're using different tools to, just challenge those guys and keep it on their mind in maybe different ways. So sometimes it's a visual thing, sometimes it's them applying it on a whiteboard, sometimes they have their iPad and they got a sketch, and sometimes they're just going through and it's like a multiple choice quiz. And so we're just constantly finding different ways to get these things ingrained in their mind, so that when you hear a word, it paints a picture. It's not, oh, okay, what does that word mean? Now we're trying to get to that point as fast as we can.
How have Deshaun and Tim picked up the system, do you think, just because they don't have the same reservoir of knowledge that Aaron has from so many years in the league?
I think they've done a great job. I mean, they're working really hard, outside the building too. I mean, they're constantly hitting me with questions, and they're doing a really nice job. I think their inexperience is where they'll maybe take a little bit longer to apply it. Where I think with Aaron, a guy like with his experience, he's able to apply things faster. But as far as knowing what's going on around them, I think they've done a really nice job.
Going off what Michael was just saying, though, is there any benefit that Deshaun and Tim don't have 13 years to unlearn? Like, is it easier or not?
I don't think so. I don't think it's easier or not. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I still think when you're in a system already, and I take in Deshaun's case, he's got a few different systems in such a short career, that may be even more difficult. I just think, and that's, Aaron's able to apply something that kind of relates to something he's done in the past. And I think that when you have those experiences, that often can be easier for a guy.
Luke, you were gone last year, so you weren't here for Tim making the team and kind of coming out of nowhere. You have seen that happen before, even when you were coaching wide receivers. How do you kind of handicap the three guys behind Aaron and what that competition will be like when we get to the summer? Yeah,
for me, it's just a little early to even think about that. Right now, we're in such a stage of learning and putting this process together and understanding the offense. I just think it's really early for that. I haven't even put any thought to that, nor I would think Coach LaFleur has either. We're just trying to get those guys ready so that by the time we get to training camp, that they could come and they can be ready to play at the highest level that they can, and who can apply everything the fastest. And as anything, whoever can do that better and more consistently, they'll be the guy that will get more reps as the training camp will go along.
With the limitations that you guys have time-wise, though, I mean, you're not gonna get them as immersed as you would love to before they leave here on June 13th. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and like I said, though, I think the other part of it is, though, we've been pretty creative in using technology to help us to let them have time, so they can study on their own. And where in the past, we've been able to have a lot more time. Like I get more time with Manny than I do with any of them because of the extended time the rookies can have. But just finding ways to let them apply that stuff on their own time has been really beneficial. I feel like by the time we leave here June 13th, we'll be in really good shape. They will have a lot of information, and they will have learned a lot by the time they leave. And then that way, when we get back in late July, they'll be able to apply it, and things will be more direct and more specific once you get into the installations and all that stuff. So they won't be learning everything for the first time anymore. So I feel pretty good about where they will be by the time we get back there in July.
Two more, please. Beyond the scheme, is there fundamental-wise, is it small differences, big differences that Aaron and all those guys have to learn?
I would say small. I mean, I think there's principles that every coach has or beliefs that they have, and we're instilling those in those guys. But I think playing the quarterback position, there's got to be a lot of natural actions that you perform, and it's our job just kind of tighten those up and get them as close as you can to the way you see someone playing the position at a high level. So they each have unique skill sets, and we're just kind of bringing them into how we do things here now. So drills are a little different. Techniques are, we're kind of striving for some little tweaks, but nothing significant that you're like changing somebody.
Okay, so Aaron's got 13 years of muscle memory and doing it McCarthy's way. Has that been a process to kind of going back to the playbook stuff? Is it kind of to unwind? Has that been
I don't think
change,
it's any, yeah, I mean, we're not changing his throwing motion or something like that. I mean, that's not what we're doing. We're just trying to get his feet to marry the play, or his action to marry, the action that we're gonna have when we're handing the football off, when we're booting away, or when we're doing a play action. I think all that stuff is stuff that a guy as talented as he is, he's already in great shape from what he was doing before. So, no, I don't think that's gonna be a big deal.
Real quick on Manning, since you're spending so much time with him, he's a guy who had 4 offensive coordinators in 4 years at Arizona State. What do you think you have in him as you've spent more time with him?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a sharp guy. I mean, you can see that he's been able to kind of bounce around to those different offenses and handle it very well. And so he's got a good background too. I mean, some of the stuff that he has done, he has some relatability to what we're doing in some areas. So he's been good. He's been fun. He's been great. He's working his tail off, and I think he's a really sharp kid. So I'm excited to see when we get to training camp, give him some opportunities.
When you were coaching receivers, we all made a big deal out of all the unique drills that you came up with. Are you able to be that creative with quarterback drills? The one that stood out yesterday where they took a handoff under center, rolled out, and caught a pass, and then threw a pass, I guess, on the rollout. How creative can you be with these drills? Have you been able to put your own stamp on any of this stuff?
I mean, it's part of the fun, it's a little bit of an imagination as you're going through some stuff. And, Coach LaFleur has drills, Coach Hackett has drills, I had drills. We're combining, some of the cool parts of each one of them. But no, I mean, my goal even then, I said that before, wasn't to just be, to be someone that's, in a circus or something like that. I mean, there was purpose behind them. And so the same thing, we're not going to do a drill just because it's fun. We're going to have some kind of application to playing the position. And so I think any way we can be competitive, you'll see that in our drills a lot. As you guys get around more, we try to compete in every single drill that we do when we're on our own. So that part of it, I think, gets everybody to be better.
I was just curious and what's the purpose with the drill that we saw?
Well, it's a way, so you're both getting your footwork, your handoff, your ball with the running back, and then you're turning it into a keeper. So now the guy gets the ball and he gets to throw like as if he was faking it, and now he's running a keeper. So there's always purpose to what we're doing to, kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone within one drill.